Stand up. What are you doing? Do you know who you are? What are you doing? Why are you wasting my time? But the message was, why are you wasting my time? Why are you wasting your time, my time, with petty things that do not matter and will not matter in the bigger picture, in the grand scheme of things? I literally had put God needs me there. And this was in 2020. We are in 2025 right now, so that was like 5 years ago. I speak on grace because in the midst of like me reading all the plans that I had, all the things that I wanted to do for God specifically, I suddenly felt insufficient. I suddenly felt not worthy. Like, with the way I am right now, God cannot need me anymore, because I felt like I'd been distant, I had been far, I hadn't had like a deep conversation with him before, like in a long time. And right now, I cannot be the same person that God wants to still use, or God wants to, make use of. I felt like there were much more qualified Christians and much more qualified disciples who would be able to achieve some of the things that I was supposed to have done, based off the things that I'd written. And with that, God used weeks to teach me about the concept of grace and how important grace is, and how grace is powerful, and how grace is beyond forgiveness. Grace is beyond delivering people from sins. Grace is beyond saving. Grace is power. God used weeks, and I feel you also need to learn, you also need to understand, in case you're in a similar situation or similar shoes at me. God's grace is power. Grace is the active power of God to not just save, but to transform. These two generation churches, hyper grace, hyper grace, hyper grace. And then before you know it, grace started to have bad PR, and started to make it look as if people were using grace or claiming grace to still live in sin or to do terrible things because they knew that God was still going to forgive them. And so, it is not a license to sin. It is empowerment to live a transformed life. So grace is both pardon and power.